Okay, back with another Insight video. This one, as you can see already, is about restoring the old yellow, oxidized, scratched headlights that the car has, accrued after 20 years at this point. It's 2002, so like it's rough to the touch. It's yellow. It doesn't affect driving all that much, but I'm sure every little bit of clarity through the light, will help at night. So what I'm gonna do is do what I did when I first got the car about 6 years ago, something like that, 7 years ago. It might actually be longer than that now. But anyway, when I first got the car, it looked similar to this, and I used a Turtle Wax headlight restore kit. It was a simple kit, about $10 at any of the car places, and it comes with sandpaper and stuff, and it's one of those easy to do ones you can do in an hour, less than an hour probably. But I went looking for it, and it looks like they redesigned it. It's no longer the same product it was. I still have the old box I found, but what we're going to be using is the new version, which is this. It's smaller. It only has one cream instead of two. The original version had a lubricant. Maybe they figure it's not necessary anymore. I think it was just a cleaning, like alcohol or something to scrub the headlights. But this one, it's the same box, same instructions. The only difference is it only comes with the one green sandpaper instead of the two. The old one had a 1, 2, 3, and 4 step process where it got finer and finer grit on the sandpaper. But this one starts with it's the number one feels like it's probably around 100 grit, and then number 2 is on the back, which is much finer, probably 200. But there isn't a 3 and a 4. The 3 and a 4 were labeled purple on the last set, and that was super fine, like beyond you couldn't even really feel it. But they gotten rid of that. Now it gets the cream, which is cleaner and scratch you scratch up the headlights. This fills in the scratches, and then you kind of buff it clean and takes all the yellow off. And then the last step is an acrylic wipe, which is hopefully the UV protectant wipe. I don't know how much protection there could be in one of these, but don't eat it. At the end, you put this over the top, and it's supposed to protect it from UV damage from the sun over time. But I have little faith that it actually will last, more than a year or so. And you might have to get some real clear coat, like the stuff you put on your car, which, if you can look over here, is coming off. Like, I might have to get that to protect it, depending on how long, the car lasts and whatnot. But I'm going to get to work on this. I'll take some before pictures, and then we'll do a comparison, at the end to see what the difference is. I'm hoping it'll come out looking relatively good. I'm not looking for perfection, but last time I did it came out really nice. So I think it's just the UV coating broke down, and then it started to yellow again. But I'm going to get to work on this, and we'll see how long it takes. Should be about 30 minutes to an hour, maybe. Back in a bit. Okay, so I got some masking around the lights as best as I could. There's very little clearance on the left side. So, I mean, it's not, I'll just be careful. It's not like this stuff is toxic or, gonna, destroy the car in any way if I touch it. But first step is to take number 1 pad. Number 1 is the green one, which is the roughest. And then with a wet sand, do a side-to-side motion, one direction only. You don't want swirls. You don't want to be able to not be able to fill in those scratches you're putting in, because you're intentionally putting in scratches in order to fill them in. It sounds counterintuitive, but that's the way it's done. You take off the unevenness, and then you get finer and finer, and then eventually you just coat it with a slight acrylic, like a plastic, and then you have a nice smooth surface again. And if you end up working too much in one area, you get some ups and downs, you get some deeper scratches than in others, and it doesn't come out to be as flat as possible and as clean. So what we're gonna do is just wet the headlight first, just get it clean everything off. It's not dirty. I did this earlier, so this is the beginnings of the wet sand. So you take your sander and water, and I'm gonna go left and right evenly across the headlight, and you can hear it putting in scratches. And the first time you do this, I did this first time on the 944. I had the let's get that off there. First time I did this, it was like I was kind of scared. I'm like, oh my god, what am I doing to my headlight? And that was a Porsche 944, and they were worse than this was though. After the it was an 86, so at this point, 35 years old. But back then it was, I had it. I don't know, 2006 maybe, 20 years. If it was worse than this. And when I first did it, it was exceptionally scary, like, because those things are not cheap. These headlights, you could probably find a spare part from somebody for 20, 30 bucks, 100 maybe, if somebody's trying to, get the most they can. But like those Porsche headlights, those things are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars in terrible condition. And they were limited as well. So there really wasn't much. I didn't want to screw anything up. And when I did it, the first time I was freaking out. I'm like, I am just destroying these headlights. But then as you went down through, the more finer sandpaper, it started to look a little nicer. And then a little nicer. And a little nicer. And eventually when you put that final cream on, that acrylic that fills in all the little scratches you made, it's like magic. You're watching it, and then in a couple minutes it goes from looking like it does now, yellow and all this brown, this dirt, it goes to being crystal clear, and it's absolutely amazing. But this isn't hard. This is step one. That color is dirt and the UV coating, like the top layer of the plastic coming off. That's been damaged by ultraviolet light. It turns yellow-brown. Plastics do that. Okay. You can hear it scratching up. And you can see it. You might not be able to, but up here in the top, there's some scratches that are now very evident. Okay, and then after that, it says flip over to number 2, which is very, very soft, and go up and down. It says finger pressure, so you don't have to push. You don't have to. This isn't like a buffing wheel, where you're actually destroying a good depth of material. This is just some fine pressure just to get some of the top layer of plastic off and that damaged coating. And now it feels really soft compared to what it did just a few minutes ago. And the scratches up there at the top are now much more hazy, much finer. This little piece here is it's not actually ridged. It's ridged on the inside, but not on the outside. And it'll be obvious if you miss a step at the end. You'll see like little patches of the yellow that remain, usually in these corners or like at the bottom. But again, this isn't like, I'm not restoring a show car or anything. I want to keep it wet so you don't actually, you're not grinding with the sandpaper, even though it's fine. You'll create more scratches without the water. The water just kind of allows the scratches to be a little more even. Okay, that feels good. While I have this, I'm going to do the other headlight, so I'll be right back. Okay, the other headlight's done. Looks identical to this one, except backwards. So now it just says wipe it dry with a dry cloth. And you'll see it looks terrible. This is where I was, when I did the Porsche, I was absolutely like just in awe how much damage you actually do when you just wipe it down with, well, it's fine grit sandpaper. It's not really all that abrasive, but it's enough that the plastic, you've eaten right across the top of the plastic. And so I'm not sure if you can see it. You can probably see it. It's hazier than it started. But all the yellow is, there's a little bit right here. Just a little here. Try and get out everything before we coat it. It looks pretty bad. Look at that. That is, I can't move the tripod very easily. But yeah, that's it's still yellow up around here. I may go over it another time, just to see if I can get that off. But if it's actually like deeper into the plastic, it's never going to come out. If it's that deep. Everything else though it's not looking as yellow as it was, which is good. I'm going to go dry the other side. Be right back. Okie dokie. Next step is to apply Repair and Renew Cleanser, Heal and Seal Technology Cleanser. Gotta love it. I don't know what it is. It smells like turtle wax, to be honest. Like it's got a waxy, just a waxy smell. So it says apply it in straight motions. Oh, it's really thick. It's a goop. More. Yeah, this is rough. That doesn't feel smooth at all, but that's the point. It says apply it with some pressure. You want to get it in all the scratches you made earlier. And this is why I want the masking, just so it doesn't damage your paint. If it does, I don't know if it does. It's made by turtle wax, so possibility it's safe on most paints. I wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't try it. Especially on 20-year-old paint. I got some spots on the car that are getting bad. The roof is really bad. The clear coat is really thin up there The clear coat on the front bumper here is gone completely. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. Whether it's, you know, take it off, strip it, put a new coat on, take it to somebody. More. Go all the way down to the bottom. I'm not pressing too hard, just enough to make me winded. But it doesn't feel as rough as it did when I first started, right? Because it's just wet. It says apply it and then buff it off. Unfortunately, I don't have a buffer here, so I'm just going to have to use another cloth. So it may not be the, like, if you buffed it at the end, I bet your results would be even better. We won't know. Maybe the next time I'll do it, I'll have a buffer. Okay, that's looking good. It's pretty evenly coated down to the corner, around the lip. And it says wait a little bit and then buff it off, so I'll be right back. Okay, it's been about a minute, maybe 2. You can see it's looking a little better. Just, you know, with this compound on it. It's healing and sealing. Or is it sealing and healing? I don't remember. Now I gotta wipe it off. This is where you'd use the buffer wheel if you had one. But I don't. So I'm just gonna do my best to evenly buff it off. This is a really old set of bed sheets. They're pretty soft. I should have waited a little longer, maybe. Yeah, seems to be working. A little bit of haze at the top. Oh, I see. That's the excess on the top of the light that got in the crevice there. That's all. Wow, it's looking good. Wow. Get some dry. Here. So maybe you can see it. There's some deeper scratches up here that I should go over a second time with the compound. These headlights have marks on them underneath. I think, like down here, these smudges, it's hard to see them. They're on the other light too. I don't know if they're from like bugs and rocks and whatever else. But the headlight definitely has marks that are deeper in the scratches, and there's some, looks like pitting on the plastic. That's looking good. For what it is, anyway. I think I got everything. Yeah, little deep scratches here some up here. The rest of the light looks pretty good. May have pressed a little too hard when I was doing it, but some more cream should be able to, I think, pull that out. Let me try it. Back in a bit. Okay, last step. Ceramic acrylic wipe. Fancy smashy glove. Squeaks. Says apply it. Both headlights. One pack. Over 30 seconds to a minute. They give you one glove, but they want you to open up the thing. I mean, how are you supposed to do that if it's toxic? Ooh, boy, this thing stinks. Oh, not good stink either. So this, I think, is the coating, the UV coating that should protect it going forward from the sun and the harmful UV rays that break down plastic. It says go even strokes, left to right. Oh, look at that shine. There were still a few scratches left over that didn't come out. I went a little too deep maybe with the sandpaper, but maybe this will fill them in if this leaves a wax type coating. It says let it dry 3 to 5 minutes. It's tough to get around evenly. You can see a little bit of bubbling in some areas around the little nooks. I'm gonna go do the other headlight. One sec. Okay, so I got both headlights done. It says let it cure for 3 to 5 minutes before doing anything with it. I think that's looking good. And then it says it'll fully cure in 24 hours. So this is some kind of filler as well, because all those scratches are gone. I see them a little bit there, but they're definitely not as prominent as they were just before applying this. And the other side, look at that. There's night and day difference, no pun intended. I mean, if it lasts a year, fantastic. That's all I'm really, I think it was $8 at Walmart. I couldn't find any other like fully packaged, kits. Next time if I do it though, I am going to try real clear coat. I'm going to try a different sanding method that I saw in some YouTube videos, and I'm gonna actually try a true clear coat spray. If it's only a year beyond this, then great. It's not hard to do. It just took, I don't know, less than an album worth of music. 45 minutes maybe. So I'm gonna let this go. I'm gonna get the masking off, let this dry, and then I'll take a picture when it's done, and then we'll compare it to what it looked like when it started. And I think for $8, that's a pretty good deal. There's probably other kits that are better. There was another one I saw, don't remember who made it. It was like $14 and had pretty much the same ingredients. Probably different, the wax they use and a different sealant, but it's the same method. You sand it down, you fill it up, and then you shine it and protect it. So that's it for this. I'll put the picture up so we can see the difference, and I think I'm happy. So that's that. We will see you next time. Bye.